So, if your autistic or suspected autistic child is experiencing significant sensory overloads and meltdowns, what do you do? I am so glad you asked this question. The first thing to do is to identify what is happening in the moment. Meltdowns are different than tantrums, though many people mistake them for being the same. And it's fair. To the uneducated eye, they do look pretty similar, but meltdowns are entirely different. The cause of meltdowns can vary by multiple things, including sensory overload, change in routine, black and white thinking, and many others. It's also important to note that even if you resolve the issues, the meltdown might not stop. That's how we know that they're not tantrums. The biggest thing that helps in handling meltdowns is prevention. You can make a lot of accommodations for autistic people depending on what it is that's causing the meltdown. I experience a lot of sensory overload due to auditory stimuli, so I always wear my noise-reducing headphones when outside. If the autistic person in your life is overwhelmed by indoor lighting, you could always turn the lights down to help them at home. If you have more than one person in the house who has different needs, though, I recommend making the autistic person's room a sensory safe space so that when they are overwhelmed, they have a place to return to. When outside, however, I would recommend sunglasses. Food can be challenging, especially with the high comorbidity rate of ARFID within autistic people, so it's really about a tiny bit of trial and error whenever the autistic person feels comfortable enough to do so. Try to have as many safe foods as possible, foods that the autistic person knows and trusts the taste and texture of. If their diet does become limited, nutrient supplements and vegetable powders are a big help in ensuring they get all the nutrients that they need. The last thing I recommend is helping them develop replacement behaviors if the autistic person in question has self-harm or destructive tendencies. I know I can hit my head when I'm in meltdown, so instead I have a dedicated punching bag. I also have a habit of throwing and breaking things, even if they're my most prized possessions. So instead I take ice cubes and I throw them in the tub. That way I still have the satisfaction of seeing something break. These are the skills that I've learned from dialectical behavioral therapy, which even though it was initially created for borderline personality disorder, I found it has excellent success with autistic people, so I highly recommend it. Dealing with meltdowns is not easy. It is a long process, and because autistic needs change, it can take a whole lifetime to learn. Just know that as long as you are trying to hold compassion for yourself and the autistic person, and you are just trying, you are doing fantastic.